Thank you so much for stopping by the vlog. It's your girl Felicia, and let me just start off by saying thank you. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. Thank you for all of the likes, the comments, the shares. Thank you so much. I'm in the process of responding to some of the comments, and I just want to say I appreciate you so much. So, yeah. Thank you for joining me this morning. It's Monday. It's bright and early. Well, it's not too early. It's almost 8 o'clock. I was supposed to come on here earlier, but hey, here we are. It's Monday. It's the beginning of the week. It's time to get started. It's time to get started, get motivated, get going, and really put in some momentum for this week. But before we get started, I've got to ask a question, and I really want you guys to be honest with me in the comments because I have my own personal thought about this whole topic, but you can weigh in on it and let me know what you think, because I really believe, that we got tricked. I believe that we got tricked by hustle culture. And let me tell you what I mean by that. I think that somewhere along the way, we got fooled into thinking that we had to be in constant motion, constant movement, doing 85 million different things just to make ends meet. Some of us are still doing 85 million things just to make ends meet. And if you think about it, they keep moving the line in terms of where those ends meet. So is that really, at the end of the day, have we really been tricked into believing that that is what we should do? Because at some point, shouldn't those ends meet? And I guess you could say, well, maybe you were hustling wrong. Well, we're in a society now, the way things are set up now, you can actually take your gifts, your talents, and you can do one thing, take one idea and scale it. You can scale it to this big thing that you want it to be. In other words, okay, let's just use this as an example. Say, for instance, you're a speaker or a host or you make public appearances or whatever, and that's how you get paid. If there's only 52 weekends in the year, that means you only have 52 weekends in terms of opportunity to do that, right? But what if, and this is just hypothetically speaking, what if you could scale your talents, your gift, whether it's your speaking ability or what have you, or whatever it is that you have to offer that you can teach? What if you could scale that and be in one place at one time, but access millions of people? And that is what the internet has provided for us. The internet has provided an opportunity to where we don't have to be in 50 million different places all the time just to make ends meet. And I know people feel like, well, okay, if you don't get up and you don't go hard and you don't go for it, then you're not going to get it. That's actually true. But are we going hard the wrong way? Are we running ourselves into the ground, thinking that if we hustle, that's going to get us there? Actually, it's not. If you can get to the point where you live to be in your 50s, your 60s, or your 70s, whatever, people in that age group will tell you that the constant hustle and the constant grind is not it. Figuring out how to scale your gifts and abilities, that's where it's at. And I do believe with all my heart. And listen, I was a hustle girly. I was all into having all of these different things that I had going on, multiple streams of income, which you can still have multiple streams of income, but from one base. And we'll talk about that later. We'll, talk about the entire, plan and how you make that happen. We'll talk about that later. But for right now, going into this new week, going into this, is this the third week? Almost the end of October. Almost the end of October. We're in the last quarter of the year. We have to seriously think about, how are we making those ends meet? What does that hustle look like for you? Because again, I believe that, we got tricked into the whole hustle culture thing. And listen, I'll be the first to admit that I was definitely an advocate of hustle hard, hustle all the time, get up, grind, grind till you go to sleep. Actually, at one point I was team no sleep. And then I realized, wait a minute, what? You're working yourself into the grave when you do that. Actually, hustle is not your superpower. Your superpower lies in being able to rest and have clarity and have the strength and the ability to come up with really great ideas that you can scale, that you can actually make money in your sleep. Because let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck on this Motion Monday. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life in meeting after meeting after meeting after meeting? Meetings that you don't want to be in? Let's be honest. Do you really want to spend your life always, the rest of your life now? I'm not talking about up to this point. Because up to this point, maybe it was fun. But at some point, it gets to where it's not fun, especially when you want to do other things. So do you really want to spend the rest of your life in meeting after meeting after meeting, always in some sort of go mode, right? What if you could make money in your sleep without being in go mode? What if you could scale your idea, put your idea in go mode, so that you don't have to be caught up with hustle culture? And again, I'm not against working hard, because as you can see, I'm actually at work right now, getting ready to go inside and work. I've got to produce some commercials today. So I'm not against hard work. We have to work. We have to pay our bills. We have to make a living. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that maybe, just maybe, we got tricked into a situation that has put us in this box to where it's a little bit more difficult now for us to scale those ideas. And when I say a little bit more difficult, I mean maybe it's a little bit more difficult to find the time. Right? Because think about it. If you're always grinding, if you're always hustling, if you're always working, if you're always at it, if you're always on go, where is the actual time to devote to those things that you may be able to scale, so you don't have to be on go all the time? And now, hey, if that's something that you want to do, I'm not knocking it. Keep right on ahead. But what I do know is, after experiencing a serious health challenge last year that left me, going from having, the top radio show in my city to lying on bed rest for 8 weeks, not able to walk, talk, move, needing help to get around and everything else, it was an eye-opener. That was an eye-opener. Now, were there signs leading up to that? Were there little voices in my head that were saying, girl, you know better. Girl, you know better. You know that you can take those skills and put it into, whether it's a digital product, whether it's a podcast that may go all over the world, whether it's, some sort of digital situation that will allow you to be in one place at one time and still amplify your message to millions. Was there a voice that was saying that to me? Yes. Yes. Did I listen? No. I did not listen because the grind was so loud in my ear. The hustle was so prevalent in my life. The being on go all the time was really driving the car. I was in the passenger seat of my own life. So, are you in the passenger seat of your own life, and is everything else that you have going on driving the car? Is the actual hustle and grind of life driving the car to where you are looking around, time is passing, you know, you're looking up and it's like, wait a minute, I'm getting older, but I'm not making more progress. Time is passing, but I'm not making more progress. I'm paying more bills, but I'm not making more progress. I'm working more, but I'm not making more progress. So at some point, that self-assessment has to kick in. We talk about that all the time on this channel, because here on this channel, it's about reimagining life at any age and at any stage. And if you're just joining me on this Chit Chat Monday Motion vlog, please subscribe. Please subscribe, because I'm following my own advice and trying to amplify my message. So I would love for you to join the family. You know, weigh in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what your thoughts are about always being caught up in the grind, and if that has actually shown itself to be beneficial for you. Now, for some people, maybe it has. Maybe it has. But I really think for the masses, it has not. And the reason I say for the masses it has not is because everybody, think about it, when you're on your commute to work, especially if you live in a bigger city, if you're on your commute to work, why is the traffic so bad? Why is there always a bottleneck when you're trying to get to work, or when you're trying to go to lunch, or when you're, getting in the line to pick the kids up from school or drop them off? Because everybody's doing the same thing. Everybody's hustling from one place to the next place, trying to handle life's responsibilities, get back to work, make a dollar so that they can pay the bills and repeat the cycle. Wash, rinse, and repeat. That's what the masses are doing. So obviously, for the masses, no, hustle culture has not worked. We've been bamboozled. We've been fooled into thinking that that is the only way to be successful, and it's not. And we are in a world now where there are so many outlets. There is so much technology out there, and I know AI is just taking over all kinds of things, right? But if you already have that mentality of get up, get out there, and get going and get it, you can use AI to your advantage. You can use ChatGPT to help you come up with a plan for an idea that you have that you can scale, that will keep you out of being in that commute all the time, that will keep you out of being in all of these senseless meetings over and over and over again that you don't want to be in. It will keep you out of having to work all week long and work all day long, and then you got to have meetings after work just so that you can figure out, how you can get out of whatever it is that you're in. You have meetings all week long, you work all week long, you're having meetings after work, then on the weekend you're booked to do this, hey, it's a blessing. It's a blessing to have a job, number one. It's a blessing to be employed. It's a blessing to be able to pay your bills. Let's just put that out there. Let's be factual with that, all right? All of that is a blessing. but blessings abound. There are bigger blessings out there as well. And if your goal, if your wish is to be able to enjoy your life more and not be inundated by stuff all the time. I know my friends think I have probably just lost my mind. My friends, my associates or whatever, I know some of them, the ones who really know me, I don't think that they think I've lost my mind. But I think that some people think I have just totally lost my mind, because when I'm off work, I don't want to be on a meeting when I get off work. I've been in meetings all day. I don't want to do that when I get off work. On the weekends, I don't want to I don't want to go on vacation and be busy the entire vacation. Like, I literally just want to enjoy and explore. I want to be a grown-up Dora the Explorer. You get it? Like, at this point and at this stage in the game, I believe that we deserve to be grown up Dora the Explorers. However, hustle culture has created a situation where most people cannot afford to do that. And it's set up that way on purpose. I say it all the time, not being a conspiracy theorist, just really speaking the truth. So if you desire for your life to look different or to be different, we have to figure out a way for that approach to be different. We have to figure out a way to take the ideas that we have and scale them. My mom gave a sermon. Well, it wasn't a sermon. It was a sermon for me, because she was talking to me specifically. And she was saying, use what's in your hands. Use what's in your hands. In other words, it doesn't matter how much you rip and run out there. It doesn't matter how many things you do out there. You've got some skills and some talents right here in your hands that you can use, that you can build upon, that you can now create a system that you can scale and build, so that you don't have to be out there ripping and running all the time. Like, you literally can retire off of your talent. You can come up with a retirement plan off of your talent. You can figure out a way to make money in your sleep digitally these days. Now, is this one of those classes where I teach you how to make money digitally? No, that's not it. But it is a wake-up call to say, we've probably been tricked into thinking that we could not use those abilities, because, it's a little daunting. Let's be honest. It's a little daunting when you are looking at everything that you've got going on, all of your responsibilities and the bills that you have to pay, and you start something new that initially does not make money for you, right? It's a little daunting. And it's like, but then you think about it. If you can play the long game, and do something that maybe right now, right this second, is not making money for you, but you can scale it. You can scale it to where it can replace all of these other small things that you do. Isn't that worth looking into? Isn't that worth looking into? Isn't it worth playing the long game? If you can invest just a little bit of time here or there into something that may not make the money right now, but later on, you can spend your entire weekend lounging and still generate income. There are things out there right now that are at your fingertips that will allow you to do that. But we have to take some time to figure out what that is. Use some of these digital tools that are out here. Use some of these AI tools that are out here to do that, and really get to it. Because if not, We're going to continue to be in this never-ending grind, in this constant stuff, never-ending meetings. We're going to be at work all day long and then have meetings after work and then all week long, and then here's the weekend and you're trying to do side stuff. No. There's another way. There is absolutely another way. And so I'm thoroughly convinced. And again, I was a hustle advocate, but I am totally against that ish now. All right? I am totally against that ish now. I believe that we got bamboozled into hustle culture, and now we're in a situation where we have to hustle just to make it, and they keep moving the line when it comes to those ends meeting. And if you look up, you look around, the ends never meet, but the hustle just keeps on going. The grind just keeps on going. And you grind yourself into the dust. You grind yourself into the dirt. You look around, you're tired. All your vitality is gone. Your energy is gone. Your health is waning. You know, you're still not making the money that you want to make. It's designed that way. That's why you have the 99%. That's why you have the 1%. That's why you have the 95% or the 5% or the 98 and the 2%, because the bigger percentage of people are still in the grind. They're still in the hustle. They're still trying to figure out how to get out of this hamster wheel that we've been tricked into getting into. So, on this Motivating Monday, Motion Monday, I want you to be excited about figuring out what's next for you. What is that idea that you can scale? What is that idea that you can come up with, that you can amplify, that keeps you out of the, or that gets you out of the grind, that will keep you out of the hamster wheel, that will allow you to live the way you want to live, to where you don't have to be in meetings all day, every day. Get off work, you got more meetings. Listen, if I get invited to one more Zoom call, I'm gonna scream, right? Because that is just not what life is all about, and I get it. We get used to it, we get used to it, we get used to it, and we think that that is how it is supposed to be, and it's not. It is not. It keeps us anxious, it keeps us running, it keeps us, you know, by the time you finish one thing, you're 5 minutes late for the next thing. Like, it literally keeps us in this whole cycle that I really don't believe that life was meant to be that way. Now, when I say it wasn't meant to be that way, I don't mean what man created, because yes, man created it to be this way. The powers that be created it to be this way, because that's what keeps industry going, right? But it's time for us to tip the scales. It's time for us to be part of the 1% or the 2%. You know, I used to wonder what Les Brown was talking about when he would say, you know, no matter how long I stand up here behind this podium and talk, only 2% of the people are going to get it. I was like, man, that's a low percentage of people. But I get it. And for the longest, I was part of that percentage of people who didn't get it. But I get it now. I get it now. And so part of my mission and my message on this channel is to help people reimagine their lives for the better. So yeah, we're doing a whole lot of fun stuff. We're going to events, and you know, I'm showing you the behind the scenes of my life and all of that stuff. But at the same time, I would be remiss if I did not infuse some motivation in there to let you know there's a different way to get this stuff done. And for the longest, I advocated hustle, hustle, hustle. No. At this point, hey, Keela. At this point, I am advocating figuring out what that big idea is and then scaling it. Because all the time, ripping and running, one meeting to the next meeting, you're working all day long, then you got 50 Zooms to get on when you get off, and then on the weekend, you got 86 different things to go to on the weekend. No, that's not living. That's not living. And by the time you look around, you'll be 80 years old, and all you will have done is worked, gone to meetings, and use your entire weekend to basically just rest or try to rest because you've hustled so hard during the week. And again, some of us are hustling on the weekends too. And it's not meant to be that way. It's meant for us to be able to enjoy at some point anyway. Think about it. Why is retirement at a certain age? You know, why is it that you can't access some of your benefits until you get to a certain age? Because you're too damn tired to do anything else at that point. You have literally worked yourself into your 60s and your 70s. You've stressed yourself into your 60s and your 70s. Your body is debilitating. Your health is waning. So at that point, there's nothing left than for you to get a little stipend from all of the years that you've worked. And then at that point, that's only enough money to kind of, you know how they say, you know, people at a certain age, and a lot of times they're on a fixed income because they've worked all their lives, and now they're only getting a little percentage of that to live off of until they leave up out of here. No. So I gotta go. It's time for me to go in the building, but I just wanted to set some things in motion on this Good Monday so that you can start putting a plan together so that you can scale your ideas, amplify your message, amplify your voice, amplify whatever it is that you have going on so that you can get out of the hamster wheel. So anyway, make sure you guys leave me a comment. Let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, if you think I'm just totally off base, hey, I'm here for it. Let me know. Let's have a conversation. Let's have some dialogue. Let's start a conversation about where we're going and how we're getting there, okay? Let's start the conversation. On your way out, don't forget to subscribe, all right? I definitely want you to join the family and just kick it with your girl, okay? I love you guys. Gotta go. Until the next video, I appreciate your time. Love you. Uh-oh, my stomach's growling. Gotta go. Bye.